Hi everyone, this is Anne Burgess from Salway Evangelical Church. I am the family and community worker there, and I just want to post this live to talk about regimes. Now we're all going to be at home so much together. All the material I'm going to talk about today is from our positive parenting courses that we facilitate at Salway, and they come from Care for the Family. I would really recommend that you look at the Care for the Family website. There's lots of podcasts there to help you all the time as a couple and as parents, whether you're together or single or co-parenting. There's stuff to help you there. I'm a dad saying for the current crisis, but they all come from the materials that Care for the Family produce. I would just like to say this is going to be slightly longer because setting up and starting off on. So there are some things that we need to establish at this time. So apologies if I take about 15 minutes to say that. I hope you can bear with me. Also, I'm saying this really for the families that we have contact with at Salway. I'm saying it for the people that we know. If you see this and you find it useful, then please do feel free to use it yourself and to share it with others. So, setting up our current setting up is always important, as you know, and our children will be really keen to use this time as like an extended long holiday. However, it may be that this goes on for 2 or 3 months. And once they've established that sort of end of August pajama day, it's really hard for us to try and impose changes because they will be set in their ways. So how we set it up is really important at the beginning. So what I suggest as a family, I suggest that you do it over the next couple of days, by the end of this weekend, if you can, and do something fun together. Have pizza if you can get pizza, or order it in. Good luck. Or you may want to make a pancake party for yourselves. You may want to do something simple like hot chocolate and cookies. But whatever it is, do something fun that your family will enjoy. And you need to say that we are going to talk about our Corona crisis family agreement. Now, the older ones will, of course, be able to understand that. But something more like, this is a very special time where we're looking after other people by staying at home, and we're also looking after ourselves by staying at home. And so we need to have special rules for a special time. Now, older ones, it's good to give them a bit of warning because you will want to invite them to come along. Oh, hello, I'm back. Apparently I had a poor Wi-Fi connection. I've had to move somewhere else. So do forgive me. I am now in the spare room. So it's really important for your children to know, your older children to know that you are going to agree something together. They themselves will want to be able to contribute and say what their thoughts and ideas are, and it's really important that our children have a voice to do so. I need to say to you and underline at this point that this is not us as parents imposing on our children, but rather this is us as a family agreeing to the rules by which we will live. So if you are living by these rules, you also need to be prepared to agree to whatever is said or agreed by your family. You need to abide by it, and that includes abiding by any sanctions that are imposed. It'll be very interesting to hear from your children what sanctions they think are appropriate to impose. Quite often we need to soften their strong ideas of injustice. But in any case, it's very important to underline at this point that we are our children's role model, that we are the ones that they copy. Even more so now we're going to be in the house together so much of the time. And so it's really important that we are the adults that we want them to grow into, because we catch the values and of our parents. They don't necessarily. But say, for example, you agree limits on screen time with your older children and you are caught with your phone when you shouldn't have it. You need to know that you need to take the sanction. So think about what's a realistic sanction. Might be putting it in a box for 2 hours and not touching it, and you should do that. If you try and wriggle out of it by saying, oh, well, I was only looking to see if such and such, if there's a new shopping slot come available, or try and dodge out of it, that's what you're teaching your children, that you can dodge out of it, that you don't need to respect authority, that you are an exception. So you really need to think about abiding by the rules and being the example that your children will follow. So what should you put on a family agreement? Well, for younger children, I would say that you need to put 3, possibly 4 broad rules on your agreement. And your agreement needs to be on no more than 1 sheet of A4 paper. And for older ones and teens, I would say 5, possibly 6 rules, or so broad areas, broad principles. For little ones, I would say that you need to couch it in positive terms, especially, but for all of them it's important. So instead of we won't, we won't, we won't, think of we will. So a broad agreement might be something like, we will be kind with our hands and our voices. You can unpack that as you're going, obviously, by thinking about we don't like throwing, snatching, not sharing, etc. And those are the things that you would have a sanction for. But it's always good to reinforce the positive, that we are being kind. We are trying to be kind with our hands and our voices. Other things for little ones might be we will help each other. And under that, you might need to think about we're going to tidy up every day, and we all need to take part in that. We're going to look after each other if we're sad, etc. And you need to think about things, principles of listening to one another, etc. For older ones, one thing as a mum who's still has one teenager, you need to think about sticking to a daily routine. That might be a good thing to think about how you would word that on your crisis agreement. It's very easy for teenagers to quickly stay up all night and to sleep in all day. But of course, this is not the holidays. This is Corona crisis, special time. So you need to sort of building in times for work, times for exercise, relaxing, social time, and all those other things. So we need to think about, I'm live on the internet, please don't come in.
I'm about to put my trousers off, you mind?
So we need to think about, that was a bit alarming, my husband nearly came in and took his trousers off. He's been out cycling. So We have more viewers now. He's going to take off his trousers. That's a bit alarming. Anyway, we need to think about setting it up right, talking about our daily routine and the things that we need to make time for. So it could be for teenagers that you, when you're sticking, you agree you're going to do some time in the morning where that's work. You can relax on things like the time we get up. That is a family rule that for now you can relax a little bit and give them some slack. But you might need to say we'll be ready to actually all sit down with our screens and work at 9 a.m. And you might all want to be in a similar part of the house. For example, you might want to be downstairs with your screens so that you are accountable, that you are sticking to your work, accountable that they're sticking to their work. You may also want to give them a bit more slack in the usual screen time limitations, because of course now our teens aren't going to be able to go out and meet with their children. You may want to give them a little bit more screen time to keep in touch with their friends. That's not unlimited, and you might want to be stricter about not taking phones and screens upstairs. You don't need to have the alarm going off so early. It's not so urgent to get up. So you don't really need to be having those screens in bed with you or in the bedroom with you. So other things for teenagers is, of course, we want them to leave home eventually. And it's good for them to start learning how to do household tasks and taking responsibility. So in your agreement, it would be a good thing to think about helping them to learn perhaps a new task a week, how to sort the laundry, how to do the cooking, how to iron, how to turn out a cupboard. There's so many things that we can teach them, how to clean a bathroom. All these things are good skills, and it's not because they're stuck in the house, but it is because they're old enough to take responsibility, and we want them to grow up and become responsible adults out there in the world on their own. So that would be a great thing to watch or to look at. And then also, too big to do this weekend, but it might be good to agree that you will do it, is to draw up new Corona crisis screen time agreements and help one another to stick to it. So then once you've agreed what's going on your paper, you need to invest in it, all of you. The little ones, they want to own it. So you need to write it out or print it out neatly, perhaps leaving a really wide border, and then they can decorate it with stickers, with paint, with whatever you want to put on it. As long as you know what's underneath, doesn't matter if some of the writing is obscured. And then put it up in a place where you will all see it and remember it. With older ones and teenagers, you can get them all to sign it, and of course you need to sign it as well. And then again, put it up in a place where you will all see it and remember it and refer to it. Now, we will need to persist with this because they won't want to have a routine or a regime. But there will come a time when everybody just loses it, and you will end up shouting at each other, flouting the rules, whatever. It won't be pretty. And that's the time you need to go back to this agreement and say, if we don't want to live like that all the time, then we do need to really impose this order on ourselves. We've agreed it, let's try and stick to it. It's to help us to enjoy our company and our house together. So there will be an element of digging deep and going back to it and starting again at some point, I'm sure. I also want to ask you to think about a couple of other things, extra things to include. One of these is to build in some positive time. Parents often feel guilty we don't have the opportunity to spend time with our children as we would like, and we've been gifted it on a plate. So in your weekly routine, and you may want to put it in your group agreement, you're going to have some fun time together every week, whether that's board games, if that's what you guys like, whether it's having a film night and each week one person choosing the film that you'll watch, whether it's every Friday one person chooses a favourite meal that everyone will eat and share together. Whatever it is, have some fun time together. It's a golden opportunity. And the way we build our children's respect and the identity of our family is by having fun together. It's a really key thing. And also, it would be good to have time each week when we just check in with each other as kind of follow-up meeting. So a week after you have this first meeting where you agree your plans, so let's just have another time where we can just assess how it's going. Is it working? Do we need to tweak it? But also just lay out from the beginning, these meetings are times when we can sit down and calmly explain how we're feeling or how we think things are going. You can say how you think things are going, but the children can also say and express their feelings. This is really important for their well-being and yours, that we can listen and understand each other in this way. There's lots more that I could say, and I've been interrupted a couple of times by my husband wanting to remove his clothes after cycling, and also by an internet blip. But I hope this has been useful. I look forward to perhaps seeing your comments on things you've tried at home and or questions you would like answered. In the coming week, I'm going to put up some things about establishing a good routine. Routine will be our security and our foundation, and also about building family traditions, which are a really key way of enjoying family life together. But in the meantime, I wish you all a really happy Mother's Day weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye.